Today we are continuing with adding and subtracting fractions, this time with different denominators. Please copy down the standard benchmark indicator on a clean page in your math notebook. The student will add and subtract with fractions with different denominators. Adding unlike denominators. Denominators must be the same to add, so multiply each fraction by a number to make their least common multiple. So we have 2/5 and 1/3. So their least common multiple is 15. So we multiply 2/5 by 3 on the top and the bottom, and 1/3 by 5 on the top and the bottom. So now we get 6/15 plus 5/15, which equals 11/15. Remember, since you multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number, you're really just multiplying the fraction by 1. In example B, the least common multiple is the denominator of one of the fractions already, 9/10. So we don't have to change 9/10. We can just bring 1/2 up to 10ths. We multiply the numerator and the denominator by 5, and we get 5/10. 9/10 plus 5/10 equals 14/10. We go to a mixed number, 1 and 4/10, and then we simplify down to 1 and 2/5. Add. So we have 5 6 plus 2 9s, so 18 is our least common multiple. So we're going to multiply 5 6 by 3 and 3. Which gets us 15/18. Plus 2 9s, we're going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 2, so we get 4/18. When you add 15/18 and 4/18, you get 19/18, which simplifies to a mixed number of 1 and 1/18. For 2, we have 1/4 and 1/2, and we know 4 is the least common multiple, so we can leave 1/4 as it is, and then we're going to multiply 1/2 by 2 on the top and the bottom. Then we get 1/4 plus 2/4 equals 3/4, and that is in simplest form, so we can't make it any smaller. For 3, we have 2/3 and 5/12, and 12 is our least common multiple for 3 and 12. So all we have to do is take the 2/3 and multiply the top and the bottom by 4 to get up to 12ths. Then we get 8/12 plus 5/12 equals 13/12, which simplifies to 1 and 1/12. For 4, we have 7 and 14 as our denominators, and we know 14 is the least common multiple. So we're going to take the 1/7 and multiply the numerator and the denominator by 2 to get up to 14. And then we get 2/14 plus 3/14 equals 5/14, and that does not need to be simplified. For 5, we have 1/8 and 1/6, and we know 24 is the least common multiple of 6 and 8. So we're going to multiply the 1/8 by 3. Then we're going to multiply the 1/6, the numerator and the denominator, by 4. At that point, since we have a common denominator, we just add 3/24 plus 4/24 equals 7/24. Finally, for 6, we have 3/4 and 2/3, and we know the least common multiple of 4 and 3 is 12. So we're going to bring both of these fractions up to 12. So we're going to multiply 3/4 by 3. And that gets us 9/12. And we're going to multiply 2/3 by 4. which gets us 8/12. So we're going to add 9/12 plus 8/12 equals 17/12. And that, when simplified to a mixed number, becomes 1 5/12, which cannot be simplified. Subtracting, unlike denominators. Just like adding, to be able to subtract fractions, the denominators have to be the same. So multiply each fraction by a number to make their least common multiple, so we get a common denominator. In example A, we have 3/4 and 1/3. So we know 12 is the least common multiple, so multiply 3/4 by 3 and get 9/12, and 1/3 by 4 to get 4/12. Whenever they do to the numerator of the fraction, they do to the denominator. Now we can subtract, so 9/12 minus 4/12 equals 5/12. Remember, since you multiply both numerator and denominator by the same number, you're really just multiplying the fraction by 1. In example B, again, we have the same thing that we looked at on the adding, where one of the fractions is already in the least common multiple as the denominator, so we only have to change one fraction. So in this case, 4/5 goes up to 8/10, and then we have 8/10 minus 3/10, which gets us 5/10. We know our answers always have to be simplified, so we divide the numerator and the denominator by 5, and we get 1/2. For number 1, they've started it already. The least common multiple for 6 and 9 is 18. So 5/6 is multiplying by 3 on the top and the bottom, and gets us 15/18. Then 2/9, they're multiplying by 2 on the numerator and the denominator, gets us 4/18. So now we just have to do the subtracting. 15 minus 4 is 11, so we get 11/18. For number 2, we have 11/14 and 2/7. We already know the least common multiple is 14, so we're going to multiply 2/7 by 2 for the numerator and the denominator to get 4/14. So 11/14 minus 4/14 gets us 7/14, which we know we can simplify. So we're going to divide both the numerator and the denominator by 7 to get 1/2. For 3, we have 3/4 and 3/5. So we know 20 is the least common multiple for 4 and 5. So we're going to multiply the 3/4 by 5 on the numerator and the denominator to get up to 20ths. Next, we're going to multiply 3/5 by 4 on the numerator and the denominator to get up to 20ths. And 15/20 minus 12/20 equals 3/20, which cannot be simplified any further, so that is our final answer. For 1/2 minus 1/8, we know 8 is going to be our least common multiple, so it's going to be our common denominator. So we're going to multiply the 1/2 by 4 to get it up to 8ths. So now we have 4/8 minus 1/8, which is going to get us 3/8, which cannot be simplified any farther. For number 5, we have 1/3 minus 1/6, so we know 6 is going to be our common denominator, or our least common multiple. So we're going to multiply 1/3 by 2 for the numerator and the denominator to get it up to 6. So now we get 2/6 minus 1/6, which gets us 1/6. Finally, for number 6, we have 7/10 minus 1/2. We already know 10 is the least common multiple there, so we're going to multiply the 1/2 by 5 for the numerator and the denominator to get up to tenths. So then we get 7/10 minus 5/10, which gets us 2/10, which we know we can divide 2 and 10 by 2, which will get us 1/5. Please make sure you have all of the work copied down and then glue this paper in your math notebook.